When you hear the name Michael Phelps, what do you think of? Gold medals, right? World records, Olympic glory, the whole shebang. But this story, this is not about what happened in the pool. It's about the silent, turbulent waters that were raging just beneath the surface. Wow, that quote right there, it just changes everything, doesn't it? It's asking us to look past the superhuman champion and see the human being who was fighting a totally different kind of battle. So, to really understand the legend, we have to go back, way back to a time before anyone knew his name, when he was just a kid who, honestly, felt like he didn't quite belong. Okay, so picture this. Young Michael Phelps, growing up in Baltimore. He was loud, he was restless, he was always moving. In school, teachers just didn't know what to do with him. He was eventually diagnosed with ADHD, and the world outside just felt like, well, chaos. And then, when he was 9, his parents divorced, which only made that feeling of instability even stronger. This is where it all starts to make sense. On land, his world was noise and distraction, but the second he slipped into the water, everything just stopped. All that chaos turned into silence. For the very first time, his racing mind and his restless body were perfectly in sync. You see, the pool wasn't just a sport for him, it was his sanctuary. And pretty soon, that sanctuary became a training ground for one of the most obsessive, most dominant athletic careers in the history of sports. This is the story of that relentless climb to the very top. And the key figure here? A coach by the name of Bob Bowman. Now, he saw something in young Michael that other people might have missed. It wasn't just raw talent. It was this obsessive drive just waiting to be pointed at a target. And Bowman, he gave him that direction, channeling all that chaotic energy into one single powerful purpose. And let me tell you, that direction was absolutely brutal. We're talking about a complete and total sacrifice of a normal childhood. While other kids were opening presents on Christmas morning, Michael was in the pool. Thanksgiving, pool. Bowman had this belief that champions were made when nobody else was watching. And Michael, well, he bought in completely. The water was the only place he felt he really belonged anyway. And his rise was just meteoric. He makes the Olympic team at just 15 years old. And okay, yeah, he didn't win a medal in Sydney, but that wasn't a failure, not even close. It was fuel. A year later, he's a world record holder. By the time Athens 2004 rolls around, he's a global phenomenon, winning a staggering 8 medals. The world had officially found its new swimming superstar. But that level of stardom came with an almost impossible goal. A goal that would push him to the absolute peak of his career and also to the devastating personal cost that came right along with it. All right, the stage is set. We're in Beijing, 2008, and the goal isn't just to win. It's to do something nobody thought was possible. Break Mark Spitz's record and win 8 gold medals at a single Olympics. The pressure was just unimaginable. One tiny mistake, one false start, and the whole dream would be gone. And he did it. 8 events, 8 gold medals. Just unbelievable. And as if that wasn't enough, he also shattered 7 world records in the process. I mean, this wasn't just greatness. This was pure, absolute domination on a scale the world had never, ever seen before. But then, this. After the cameras shut off, after the cheers finally faded, he was left alone with this terrifying silence. He had done it. He had achieved perfection, the one goal that had consumed his entire life, and he felt completely and utterly empty. What came next was a deep, severe depression. The pool, the training, the goal, it had defined him for so long that without it, he had no idea who he even was. He'd later admit that during this time, he didn't even want to be alive. His private, internal struggle eventually spilled out into the public eye, leading to a massive fall from grace before he could even begin to find his way back. His rock bottom played out in the headlines for everyone to see. First, there was a controversial photo that leaked. Then in 2014, a DUI arrest. He was losing sponsors. He was facing this intense public backlash. And that was the breaking point. He finally checked himself into rehab, not to save his swimming career, but to save his own life. After therapy, after really confronting his demons, he decided to come back for one last Olympics in Rio. And yeah, you can see his medal count was still dominant. But this time was different. It wasn't about obsession or perfection anymore. It was about balance. Those 5 gold medals he won in Rio, that wasn't a comeback in the way we usually think about it. It wasn't about proving the critics wrong. This was all about proving something to himself, that he could compete with clarity, with a real purpose, and actually find joy in the water again. It was a redemption story, and he wrote it on his own terms. And that journey brings us to his life today, where his identity isn't defined by medals at all anymore, but by a new and, I think, much more powerful mission. You know, the way you'd measure his success has just completely flipped. The focus on world records, that's been replaced by a deep commitment to honesty. The medals have been replaced by a message of vulnerability. And that incredible athletic domination has been transformed into powerful, life-saving advocacy. So today, he uses his massive platform to fight for mental health awareness. His foundation works every day to break the stigma and encourage others, especially young athletes, to talk openly about what they're going through. He literally turned his greatest struggle into his most important purpose. And the story of Michael Phelps really just leaves us with this one powerful question. After you've dedicated your entire life to one thing, to that one place where you feel totally in control, how in the world do you learn to breathe on dry land?